Hey everybody! In this video I wanted to show you guys how I tumble my chainmail. You're gonna need a tumbler. I got mine from Harbor Freight. If I remember to, I'll put a link down in the video description, but if I forget, then just Google Harbor Freight Rotary Tumbler is what this one is. And there are two types of tumblers that I'm aware of. A rotary tumbler, which takes little drums like this and actually like rotates them. And vibratory, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but tumblers that like shake it. And it's like, it's like whereas this one's laying horizontally, this one's vertical. And so like the tumbler has like a shaft and then a bowl at the top that like vibrates, and that motion kind of circulates the shot in the medium that you're tumbling and polishes it that way. You will also want I don't know what these would be called. Like something to beat or polish your chainmail in this case. And what I have here, I got from Rio Grande, and these are stainless steel shot that are magnetic. That's very important for what we're doing here. Though they do have some non-magnetic kinds, but you can see these ones have little angled ends, and I really like that because you can put in a finished piece of chainmail and those little angled ends will get into those little nooks and crannies and stuff and give you a more solid, thorough polishing without having to like take the piece apart. Like it'll get in there. But I've also found that these aren't so small that they get stuck, because that's a pain to have to like take it out and then get the pieces of shot out of there. If you get the magnetic kind, you can see here we have some these are little magnetic hematite balls, and they're pretty great because you can go in and remove a lot of that a lot of the stainless steel shot from your rings. They're a little bit of a pain to get cleaned off, but it's really helpful for if you put in a bunch of loose rings, like how we have here. This is what the rings look like after we have coiled and cut them. It's just a whole bunch of saw cut rings. This is what the little join on them looks like. You can kind of see there, they're not lined up, they're not closed or particularly open, but there can sometimes be burrs, like little shards of metal that are still attached to the rings from where it was cut with the saw blade, especially if the blade's getting a little old. And so to remove those burrs, I'll often pass these through the tumbler. But my preferred method of tumbling is to just weave the piece and then tumble the whole piece. That way I'm not having to worry about like picking all the individual rings out of the shot. I tumble any of my projects that are not anodized and are not enameled. I also try to not tumble my gemstones. Like if I'm going to be adding gemstones into a piece, I'll tumble it and then add the gemstones in, just because I don't know how, like especially the softer stuff like malachite and turquoise, those probably won't do well through a couple of hours of being battered by stainless steel shot in a tumbler. Also from Rio Grande, which again I'll put links down in the video description, Sunshine Burnishing Compound, and this cleans and removes surface oxides, so it polishes the crap out of it. And so if you've got some old like tarnished up pennies or copper chainmail or different things like that, this will clean it up so nicely. Don't drink it, don't put it in your face or your eyeballs or anything. Just come on guys. And then this is just, since I'm doing it here at the table, I just have some water from the sink. And today I'm going to be tumbling some completed projects. Now, these are completed in the sense that they've been woven, but I'm going to be adding, I have 5 of these little chainmail triangles that I'm going to be adding onto a belt. There'll be a future tutorial on how I'm doing that. But I have 5 of them, so I'm going to put 2 in one and 3 in the other of my barrels, because this will hold 2 barrels. Even if I only have 1 barrel full, I'll still put both barrels in just to keep them from sliding around all over the place. And you can see I have, probably maybe 2 ounces of the stainless steel shot in each barrel. I just kind of keep them separated because I want there to be equal amounts. But I bought like, I don't, it was so long ago, I can't remember how much I bought, but I bought a pack, like the smallest pack that they had at Rio Grande for each of them. So, but again, that was like 8 years ago. For the burnishing compound, I do maybe a teaspoon. I just kind of eyeball it. Because I used to use vinegar. Like, that's probably plenty. But yeah, I used to use vinegar to polish a lot of my stuff, but if you leave copper and bronze in vinegar for too long, it makes it turn kind of a pink color, which I'm not really into that. So here we're just going to 1, 2. You want to be careful. Never fill your tumbler more than halfway. Because then it's not going to get as good of an effect. Like, I've put probably maybe 10 bracelets, depending on the size of the bracelet, in each tumbler before. And so I've put about a teaspoon of the burnishing compound in. I'm filling it up about 2/3 of the way with water. And now the lids have this like 2-stage system. There's this first one that has, I can't remember if this is EPDM or neoprene, but either way, it's a very durable, resilient rubber, and so even after all these years, it hasn't broken down. Now, granted, I haven't had it like on the front porch out in the sunlight, but it's been doing a pretty good job of it. And this, you kind of take and put in, and you want to cram it into the barrel mouth. And these barrels are kind of flexible, but this makes an initial seal that, let's see if it keeps it from leaking. But then we have this lid that goes on top of that. Hey, Harley. And that helps kind of sandwich this rubber barrel between that inner seal and the outer ring of metal. And then it has a washer and a little screw cap. And also you'll be able to see here, since it's not pressurized inside the barrel, I'm not going to have to worry about water like squirting out of it. It's going to be more of like a slow dribble or a leak. And also, as you tighten this, it pulls the barrel up, which makes that nice locked seal. And so you just tighten it down, and so I mean it is really on there. So I'm just going to take that and set it into the tumbler. You'll notice though I have it on a tote lid where there's a little bit of lip, and that way if it does leak, it's not going to make a huge mess and drip everywhere, because I usually turn this on and then just leave, like I go do something else, because it's a little loud. Now this one does have some deterioration on it. I think that'll be just fine though. Like, I've been using it just okay. And also I lost the washer for this one, which I could probably just go and get a standard washer from just about anywhere else and it would be fine. But I do like the washer because it does keep it from distorting and warping this metal part. And then I just put that on there, and I have it plugged into a regular outlet. That's it, guys. I come back in like 3 hours, and it's beautiful. So you can kind of see here, you want to make sure that you have it on a stable surface. I'm going to angle this down so you can see a little bit better, because with its nature rotating and moving and stuff, but you can kind of hear the slish slosh of the stuff moving around in there, and it's just that continual there's a hair in there, sorry, it's that continual motion that's going to shine and polish and clean and smooth down all of the it's basically like erosion, a little bit. It's wearing that surface down, polishing it up, buffing it, and it's a lot easier than standing there shaking it by yourself. But yeah. So that's it. I'll be back in 3 hours to show you guys how they come out. And also I do have a control piece of chainmail set off to the side, so we will be able to compare the before and after. It was woven at the same time and from the same batch of rings. I just have it kind of sitting off to the side. So I'll see y'all shortly. It's been a few hours, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the tumbler. And this is the piece before tumbling. Now, this isn't natural daylight, so we might not catch as much of a difference between the two, but you can kind of see, how this looks. And what really comes across isn't just the shine, but also the feel of it. Whenever you pet along the grain of the chainmail, you can kind of feel sometimes a few burrs or different things. Again, normally I would do this like in the kitchen sink, but for the sake of getting video, I'm going to do it in here into a bowl. So I'm going to angle this down just a little bit. And fortunately, no leaking or anything. Sounds like everything's still in there. I'm going to unscrew the top. Kind of use my fingernails to wrench that off. And then I actually like to, since the threading on the bolt there kind of hurts my fingers, I thread this cap back on and use it to kind of leverage it out. So this is how it kind of looks. It's a little sudsy. I'm going to see if you can't see. Now this was perfectly clear water that went in, by the way. And what I really like about just taking out a finished piece is I don't have to pick the individual rings out. Now you can see this one. Now of course this is going to need rinsed because it is covered in that burnishing compound. So here you can see one next to the other.
You can get better pictures tomorrow.
I will. So there's not too much of a visible difference right now, but oh my gosh, at the feel of it. And something like aluminum that's already, like the bright aluminum is a welding wire that we use, so it's very, very clean already. But whenever you catch this under some actual daylight, oh my gosh, it looks like mithril. And whenever you use metals that, like stainless steel, that can be quite dirty, or things like copper and bronze and brass, which naturally oxidize, oh my gosh, it'll bring it back to brand new looking. It's so cool. So that's basically how I do it, you guys. So I'm going to take these and rinse them off, and then proceed to make them into whatever I'm going to make. Whenever I'm making a larger piece like this one, I'll actually kind of section it up into smaller pieces and tumble it from there. That way you still get that really nice smooth grain, because something like this, especially, it's going to be like rubbing up against like tender bits and things, and if you're going to be wearing it for more than just a few hours, you really want that extra level of comfort. So, and also if there were a couple of rings mixed in with a stainless steel shot, like this for example, instead of going through and picking out the rings individually, I would just get these magnets and kind of come through and lift out the stainless steel shot until there's just rings left on, usually I'm working on like a surface of paper towels or something. So I really do hope that this tutorial was informative for y'all. If you guys have any questions, ideas, or comments, please leave them in the comment area down below, because I'd love to learn from y'all and help you out in any way that I can. Also, if you guys enjoy my free tutorials and would like to support the creation of more of them, please consider becoming a patron. There's a link to my Patreon down in the video description, and if you donate $1, that puts your name into the hat to win like your name in the hat once to win either of our bi-monthly Fairy House and Home for the Gnomeless giveaways that we do. If you pledge $5, it puts your name in the hat 5 times, so that greatly increases your odds of winning. And all of the proceeds from Patreon go towards the production of more videos, as well as spreading the artisan education efforts at conventions where we teach hands-on workshops and panels on wire wrapping, chainmail, costume design, YouTube, like making your own videos, like all sorts of stuff. So yeah, thanks you guys for watching. I do hope that this was helpful to you, and I'd love to hear from you. So have a beautiful day, and I'll see y'all around. Mwah. Bye.